Hello everybody and welcome to the QxL Learning Academy channel. This video is the continuation of our lesson on Roman numerals. So before we proceed with the new content, let's quickly recapitulate the basic concepts that we learned in the part 1 of the video lesson. In case you have missed the first part of this video lesson on Roman numerals, then I'll share the link in the description box, so you can go back to that first part and then come back to this video so that you will have a proper understanding. So in the first part of the video lesson, we saw that using the 7 alphabets I, V, X, L, C, D, M, we can write any Roman numerals, right? So in this video lesson, we'll try to learn how to write the various Roman numerals. So let's go for it. So now we know that there is no 0 in the Roman numerals. So we start here right from 1. Okay. So the number 1 is denoted by a single I. 2, we write it as 2 I's. For 3, we will write it as 3 I's. Okay, and for 4, can we write as 4 I's? No, this is not possible because in Roman numerals we don't repeat any symbol more than 3 times. So we write it as I and V. I'll explain later why we write like this. Now 5, we already know it's written as V. So now here we'll use a subtraction method. So 4 can be written as 5 minus 1. Yes? Okay. So now we know that 5 is denoted by V and we have to subtract 1. So 1 is I, so I'll write it before V. So this is how we write the number 4. Okay. Now if I want to write the number 6, so I'll write it as V and I. So V is 5 and I is 1. So 5 plus 1 gives me 6. So here I am doing an addition over here. The earlier case was subtraction. Okay, so that's how I got 4. 5 minus 1. So what I did is this small number is 1 and this is to the left of the greater number, that is 5. So in that case we do subtraction. But in the next case we see that the smaller number 1, it is to the right of the greater number, so we have to add. So 7 similarly can be written as VII, so 5 plus 2. 8 can be written as VIII, so 5 plus 3 gives me 8. 9, can I write V and 4 I's? Is it possible? No. As I said earlier, a particular symbol in Roman numeral, it cannot be repeated more than 3 times. So here I can't write 4 I's. So how do I write the number 9 then? Again I'll use the rule of subtraction. So 9, it can be written as 10 minus 1. So for 10 we know that it is denoted by X. Okay, and we have to subtract 1 and 1 is denoted by I. So I'll write X. If I write I to the left of X, that means it is subtracted. So 9 is denoted by IX. So this is how we write for 9. So these kind of subtraction cases, it will mostly come in case of 4, 9. So this series of number 4 and 9 are special ones. Okay. So let's continue writing our Roman numerals. So as you know, 10 is denoted by X. So now 11, how do I write? 11 is 10 plus 1. So I write X, that is 10, and I, that is 1 to the right of X. Now 20, this is nothing but 10 plus 10. So 2 10s are coming in it. So I will write X and X. Okay, so that is 10 plus 10 gives me 20. So 30. Similarly, here we have 3 10s. So 10 plus 10 plus 10 gives me 30. So I can write 3x here. What about 40? So can I write here 4 times x? Like, because 40 is 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10. 4 times the 10 is coming over here, isn't it? But again, this is not possible. As I said earlier, we cannot write a symbol more than 3 times. Yes. So what we'll do here is, again we'll use a subtraction rule. So 50 minus 10 gives me 40. So 50, we know that it is denoted by L. Okay, so I will write L, and since I have to subtract 10, so to the left of the L I'll have to write X. Okay, so XL gives me 40. This is not the size of the dress that you wear, the XL size of the dress. Okay, so jokes apart. So here we saw that how to write the numbers from 10 to 20, then 20, 30, 40, so on. We can like continue writing. So now you know C is 100, right? And if I want to write 200, so how do you write? So in 200 we have 2 hundreds, that is 100 plus 100. So I just have to write C 2 times. Okay, so I can write C and C, so that is 100 plus 100 gives me 200. Similarly, if I want to write 300, I can write C, 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 100 plus 100 plus 100. Similarly, 400, can I write C, 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 C? No. So to write 400, I will use subtraction. 500 we know is denoted by D, so I'll write D first. And then to get 400, I'll have to subtract 100 from 500. Okay, so for subtraction of 100, that is 100 is denoted by C, I'll write it to the left of D. So that is how we write 400. So as stated earlier, 4 and 9, they are the special numbers because here we are applying the rule of subtraction. So we already saw how we write the Roman numeral for 4, 9, 40 and 400. Let's take the example of 90. So for 90, here we see that it is 10 less than 100. So 100 minus 10 will give me 90. For that, what I'll do is first I will write 100, that is C, and then I have to subtract 10. For subtraction, we have to write the letter to the left of the greater number. So 10 is nothing but X. So I have to write X before C, that is to the left of C. So here that means 10 is subtracted from 100. That's how we get 90. Similarly, for writing 900, I'll have to subtract 100 from 1000. So for 1000, it's M. First I'll write M. And for subtracting 100, I'll write C to the left of M. I'll share a very interesting concept. So please listen very carefully. This is about the power of 10. So 10 to the power 0. So here 10 is the base, and the number at the top, that is 0, this is the power or the exponent. So any number to the power 0 always gives me 1. Okay, so that's why 10 to the power 0 gives me 1. Now 10 to the power 1 means 10 is multiplied once. So 10 ones are 10. Similarly, 10 to the power 2 means 10 is multiplied twice. So that means 10 into 10, that gives me 100. And 10 to the power 3, that means 10 is multiplied thrice. So 10 into 10 into 10, that gives me 1000. So if you notice 1, 10, 100, 1000, so these are the power of 10. Okay. So how do I represent these in Roman numerals? 1 is represented as I, 10 is X, 100 is C, and 1000 is M. So these are the 4 letters out of all the possible 7 letters. Okay. So now let me write all the 7 letters: I, V, X, L, C, D and M. So out of this 7, we covered 4 in the top: I, X, C and M. So these letters are nothing but they are representing those numbers which are power of 10. So there is an interesting rule related to this. Okay. So all these letters which are representing numbers which are power of 10, they can be repeated, okay, but not more than 3 times. So I, X, C and M, they can be written maximum 3 times. While the remaining letters, that is V, L and D, so these letters are never ever repeated. So they will come only once in a number. So these are some important rules that we need to remember. So now let's quickly summarize the rules we learned so far. So rule number 1 is the rule of repetition. If a symbol is written twice or thrice, the value of the numeral is obtained by adding the value of the symbol as many times as it is written. So for example, X is nothing but 10. So it is written twice means I have to add 10 twice. So 10 plus 10 gives me 20. That's how 20 is represented as X. Now next, rule number 2. The symbols I, X, C and M, it can be written to maximum 3 times. Remember, these are the ones which are used to represent the numbers which are power of 10. Okay. Then rule number 3, the symbols V, L, D, they cannot be repeated. So we can write it only one time in a numeral. Now the next rule, that is rule number 4, is the rule of addition. So we saw that if a symbol of smaller value is written to the right of another symbol of greater value, then we have to add their values. For example, if I write xi, x is 10, which is a greater number here, and I is 1, which is a smaller number. So the smaller number is to the right of the greater number. So I have to add their values. So 10 plus 1, that gives me 11. So that's how we represent 11 as xi in Roman numerals. So now moving on to the next rule, rule number 5, that is the rule of subtraction. If a symbol of smaller value is written to the left of another symbol of greater value, then we subtract their values. So for example, here we have written xc. So x is 10 and c is 100. So here the smaller value is 10, which is written to the left of the greater number 100. So in this case we have to do subtraction. So greater number is 100 and smaller number is 10. So 100 minus 10, that gives me 90. So that's how 90 is represented, that is xc. So 90 is 10 less than 100. So first we write the symbol for 100, that is c, and then we write x to the left of c. There are some additional points that are to be noted under the rule of subtraction. The symbols V, L and D, they cannot be subtracted from any other number. Earlier we saw that V, L and D, they cannot be repeated also, okay, and they cannot also be subtracted from any number. So the remaining ones are I, X, C and M. M is 1000, which is the largest one, so we cannot subtract it from any other number, so you have to forget about that. So what is left? I, X and C. So these are the ones only which I used to subtract. One more interesting point is a number cannot be subtracted from another number that is 10 or more times larger. So what do we mean by this? For example, I, which is nothing but 1. What is 10 times of 1? That is 10. So I cannot be subtracted from a number which is larger than 10. So it can be subtracted from 5 or it can be subtracted from 10. So subtraction means we are writing the smaller number to the left of the larger number. So I can be written only to the left of V and X. Similarly, X can be written to the left of L and C only, and C can be written to the left of D and M only. Okay, this is a very important rule that we need to remember. Now quickly let's try some conversions. 76, which is a Hindu-Arabic numeral, let's try to convert it into a Roman numeral. So 6 is in the ones place here and 7 is in the tens place here. Okay, so I can write 76 as 70 plus 6. Okay, so here 70 I'll further break it down to 50 plus 20. Why I broke it down was just for the ease of conversion. So 70 can be written as 50 plus 20, and what is remaining is 6. So I know 50 is L, okay, 20 is XX and 6 is VI. So 76 is denoted as LXXVI. So let's take another example. Suppose 1056, that is 1056. How it can be written? I'll write it in the expanded form first. So it can be written as 1000 plus 50 plus 6. 1000 is M, 50 is L and 6, that is VI. Okay, so for conversion of any Hindu-Arabic numeral to the Roman numeral, first you have to write it in the expanded form. Okay, so one more example, 567, I have expanded it as 500 plus 60 plus 7. So 500 is D, 60 is nothing but 50 plus 10. So it is 50 is L, and I have to add means I have to write it to the right. So I have to write X and 7 is VII. Let's try some conversion from Roman numeral to Hindu-Arabic. So now we have XXI. So XX is 10 plus 10 and I is 1. So it is 10 plus 10 plus 1 is 21. Okay. Next, suppose we have XCVI. X is 10, C is 100. Okay. So X is a smaller number which is to the left of the larger number. So what we do? We do subtraction. Remember the rule of subtraction? Yeah. So here we have to do 100 minus 10, that is 90. Okay, so xc, that is represented by 100 minus 10, and what is remaining is vi, that is nothing but 6. So what we get is 96. Okay, quite easy. Okay, so let's try one more example. Suppose DCCV. So D is 500, C is 100. So here D is a larger number and C 100, that is a smaller number. So smaller number is to the right of the larger number. So we have to add. So this is 500 plus 100 plus 100, because two C's are there, plus V is 5. So if I add it, 5, 6, 7 plus 700 plus 5, that gives me 705. Let's take one more example, MCCC. So M is 1000 and C is 100. So since the smaller number is to the right of the larger number, we have to add. Okay, so 1000 plus 100 plus 100 plus 100, that gives me 1300. So now we know that M is 1000. So how do we write 2000? So it is 2 times thousands are there, so I'll write M twice. Okay, so I'll write M. What about 3000? So I will write 3 times M, and M. But what about 4000? So here I will use the rule of subtraction. So 4000, it can be written as 5000 minus 1000. So 5000, so how do we write it? Here we'll use a concept of bar, which is nothing but a sleeping line on the top of a number. So we know that 5 is V. So if you put a bar on the top, that means 1000. So 5000. Okay. So similarly, if I want to write 6000, I will write 6 and on the top I'll put a bar. For 7000, 7 and put a bar. Okay. So 50,000, I can write 50, that is L, and I can put a bar on the top, so that is 50,000. Similarly for 100,000, for 100 it is C and I can put a bar on the top, that is 100,000. So now coming back to 4000. So 4000, as I said, it's nothing but subtraction. The rule of subtraction has been used. So 5000 minus 1000. So 5000 is V dash, and if to subtract means we have to write it to the left of V dash. So we're subtracting 1000, so I'll write M V dash. So V dash means it is 5000, X dash means it is 10,000, L dash means it is 50,000, C dash means it is 100,000, D dash means it is 500,000, that means it's 5 lakhs, and finally M dash means it is 1,000,000, so it is 1 million, or in Indian system it is 10 lakhs. So this is how we can denote big numbers in Roman numerals as well. So this brings us to the end of this part of the lesson, and I hope that now you know what Roman numerals are and how to write the Roman numerals. So if you think that this video was helpful to you, and if you like the video, so please do give a thumbs up, and yes, please don't forget to subscribe the channel. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching this video. Have a nice day.